Hello and welcome to this presentation to the basic concepts to understand Malaysia as a plural society, presented by Group 5. Here you can see our team, and now we will contribute with the agenda. Today we will talk about avoiding communist threats and influence, giving independence to Sabah, Sarawak, Brunei and Singapore, sharing economic benefits, defending the rights of the Bumi Putera community in Sabah and Sarawak, protecting the interests and rights of the Bumi Putera, Malaysia Agreement, Cobalt Commission, Intergovernmental Committee, and Singapore referendum.
Malaysia faced significant communist influence and threats. The Malayan Communist Party aimed to establish a communist state and initiated an armed uprising in 1948, leading to a conflict with Malaysian federal security forces until 1989. Through various measures, the government countered these dangers. They employed various strategies, such as ending the MCP guerrilla activities through the emergency campaign in 1948. Military actions, intelligence gathering, and community engagement initiatives were utilized to influence the local populace. The government also introduced the Casbon strategy, ensuring a safer and more stable society. To address the root causes of the communist insurgency, Malaysia implemented economic and social reforms. Political reforms were also enacted, including Malaysia's independence in 1957 and the establishment of a democratic government.
Coming now to the second part of this presentation, giving independence to Sabah, Sarawak, Brunei, and Singapore. In the mid-20th century, decolonization movements swept across the globe, including Southwest Asia, where former European colonists sought independence. The independence of Sabah, Sarawak, Brunei, and Singapore marked a significant milestone for Malaysia and the end of British colonialism in the region. Sabah and Sarawak's journey to independence is closely tied to the formation of Malaysia. Initially British protectorates, they emerged in 1964 to become the Crown Colony of British North Borneo. After years of political activism, the Malaysia Agreement was signed in 1963, leading to the formation of Malaysia, with Sabah and Sarawak becoming states. Brunei, a British protectorate since 1900th century, chose not to join Malaysia and declared independence in 1984 after negotiations with Britain. Singapore, a former British colony, gained self-government in 1959 and joined Malaysia in 1963. However, due to political and economic tensions, Singapore separated from Malaysia in 1965 to prevent further conflicts becoming an independent city-state. The granting of independence to these territories involved negotiations, political maneuvering, and at times armed conflicts. It marked a crucial moment for Malaysia and Southeast Asia, allowing these states to assert their sovereignty. Today, Sabah, Sarawak, Brunei, and Singapore are independent nations connected by their shared history and geography.
Hello, my name is Lao Jun, and today I'm going to talking about sharing economic benefits. Back in 2013, there were less than a dozen of local players in the Malaysian sharing economic scene. According to MDEC, fast forward to 2023, the country has no more than 150 local companies and counting. Therefore, Malaysia's GDP is growing up. This part, I want to talk about collaboration drives the sharing economic. Imagine sitting comfortably in your life area and make orders for your groceries on your mobile. Then a couple of hours later, as you read a favorite book on your couch, and so on, the hassle of traffic, hunting for a parking spot, jostling of churros, increased fade into the past as we travel further into the fourth industrial revolution. Digital technology married to human innovation are transforming the way we work and live. Many new conveniences are made possible through the sharing economic. In today's interconnected world, insistence that areas thousands of kilometers away can have a massive international impact. Finally, I want to give an example about online car service. Online car service can cater to the travel needs of modern consumers and has a good market prospect. Although the population of Malaysia is small, but the domestic economy is relatively developed. The basic communication facilities are perfect. The consumer travel demand is strong, and the development of the online car booking industry has obvious advantage. The domestic online car booking industry is booming, and the future development prospects are good.
5. Defending the rights of the Bumiputera communities in Sabah and Sarawak, and there are some pictures for Sabah and Sarawak. Malaysia gains independence from British colonial rule in 1957. Sabah and Sarawak joined Malaysia in 1963, together with the Malaya Peninsula, forming the nation. This is the meaning of Bumiputera. The indigenous communities in Sabah and Sarawak face issues of economic opportunities and development inequality. To address this issue, Malaysia has implemented new economic policies to promote the participation in development of the indigenous communities. It provides increased access to opportunities, reduce the economic gap, and promotes overall societal development and fairness. Bumiputera is a term commonly used in Malaysia to refer to the indigenous peoples of the country, including the native communities in Sabah and Sarawak.
This part is about the Intergovernmental Committee of Malaysia and the formation of Malaysia. First of all, the Intergovernmental Committee of Malaysia established in 1962, and the objective of this institution is to facilitate the negotiations between the Federation of Malaysia, the UK, and the Borneo territories of Sabah and Sarawak. And the purpose of this institution is to determine the constitutional framework for the formation of Malaysia and address concerns of all participating parties. Okay, next to the historical background, and the first two historical context and motivations, and the desire for political stability, economic growth, and national unity drove the formation of Malaysia, and they also outlines the historical context and motivations behind these significant events. And next to the significance of the intergovernment committee, the platform for dialogue and negotiation among representatives from both sides, the active participation of political leaders, community leaders, and experts, and raised key issues, federal structure, power distribution, and safeguarding individual rights and freedoms. And the inclusion of Borneo territories, Sabah and Sarawak had distinct historical, cultural, and geographic contexts. The community provided a forum for them to voice their aspirations and protect their interests. And the next is compromise and consensus building. And this participants engaged in constructive dialogue, proceeding differences to find common ground, and then mutual understanding and respect lead to the development of constitutional framework accommodating or
On September 1, 1962, Singapore held a referendum on the Articles of Confederation of Malaysia. The referendum offered the voters three options, namely A, partial autonomy, B, for integration, and C, treatment by reference to East Malaysia. In the end, 71% of voters chose option A, which has the highest autonomy. This matter has some significance for the UK, Malaysia, and Singapore. The Singapore referendum was also very controversial. The biggest argument over the timing of this is the opposition's view that the referendum didn't give people the option to reject the merger. So they think this referendum was not informative.
The protection of the interests and the rights of Bumiputera in Malaysia is an important aspect of Malaysia's affirmative action policing. The aim of these policies is to address historical socio-economic imbalances and promote equal opportunity for all Malaysians. On the political front, the Federal Constitution of Malaysia recognizes the special status of indigenous people and grants them certain privileges and protections. Article 115.3 law provides for the retention of indigenous quotas in education, employment, and business opportunities. In addition, the comprehensive and progressive agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership provides for a cut-off placing to protect the rights of indigenous people, which Malaysians initiated the federal constitution when it signed the agreement in 2018. On the economic front, the new economic policy is a comprehensive affirmative action program launched to eradicate poverty and restructure society. It aims to eliminate ethnic and economic identity and increase indigenous participation in all sections, including education, employment, and business. In addition, indigenous economic empowerment has developed various initiatives and programs to strengthen indigenous economic participants and entrepreneurship. This includes financial assistance, training, capacity building, and business development grant to promote indigenous people's participation in the economic. In the area of education, the government provides special educational assistance to indigenous students, including scholarship, bursaries, and reserved places at public universities. These measures are aimed to increase indigenous representation in higher education and professions. It was nothing that while these measures were implemented to protect the interests of Aboriginals, there has been discussion and debate on effectiveness and fairness of these policies in achieving their intended objectives, while ensure equal opportunity for all Malaysians. The government continued to review and revise its policies to strike a balance between addressing historical imbalances and promoting national inclusion.
I'm going to talk about Malaysian agreement. Malaysia was composed West Malaysia, Peninsula, and East Malaysia, Sabah, Sarawak. Under the Malaysian agreement, the UK will legislate for source control over Singapore, Sarawak, and North Borneo. This inclusion actually came about later. The agreement is the Malaysian Agreement 1963, which set out the terms and conditions in which the three states agreed to merge the Federation of Malaya. The agreement also included conditions for Singapore's entry into Malaysia. The terms agreed by Singapore and the federal government were published in the White Paper in November 1961. However, the White Paper does not provide specific details on financial and economic matters such as taxation and implementation of the common market. These details were not finalized until the signing of the Malay Agreement on 9 July 1963. It said the revision would improve government will receive special treatment as its multi-contributions through sectors like oil and gas, tourism, agriculture, and services.
Hello everyone. First of all, I apologize for forgot add my name after the title of this part in assignment. Okay, the Malaysia Covert Commission was established in 1962 to investigate Sabah and Sarawak's willingness to join the Malaysia Federation. With extensive consultation and research, They found that the majority of residents support the federation. Their report also highlight issues such as protecting the right of indigenous group and the Chinese community. Their fighting was instrumental in setting better national police and paving the way for Sabah and Sarawak's accession. Thank you.